this upcoming budget is what the National Party are going to put forward for this country. We have a plan, unlike the former Speaker alluded to. The plan will undermine this government's credentials as safe economic managers of this country. The plan will look to a tax system that is fairer across all sectors of the economy. And it will also produce a set of accounts, Mr. Speaker, that will read much better than under the last government that was bleeding red before the economic recession hit this country. And unlike my counterparts across the aisle, Mr. Speaker, we will not be having a borrowing program that will lead us to this type of situation that we have in Greece and other countries that are experiencing severe financial distress across the world, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the legacy that the last Labor government gave us was one of stagnant growth, one of economic growth that year on year was approximately 1%. 1% per year, year on year during their administration is unacceptable, Mr. Speaker. But what was growing at the rate of knots under the last government was core government bureaucracy. That was the biggest game in town under the last government, and it's the game that this government is committed to reining in. Mr. Speaker, the other legacy, the big legacy that the last Labor government left for us was a tradable sector that was declining for 5 consecutive years. Sir, 5 consecutive years the New Zealand export sector declined. We will not get out of this economic recession unless we expand the export sector, expand job opportunities within that sector, and expand the economy in terms of our external debt. Because, Mr. Speaker, things are grave economically if we are not prudent. Our external net debt is 90% of GDP. Can I repeat that? Our external debt is 90% of GDP, one of the highest ratios in the Western Hemisphere, one of the highest ratios among developed countries, and it's something we've got to stop. Something we've got to stop. The last speaker actually asked about creating jobs. And I heard from my friend Mr. Quinn recently that there is a job available, and it's the job of the Leader of the Opposition. And Mr. Speaker, apparently, there's a barbecue going on this Friday night. A barbecue. There's a barbecue going on, but we don't know the location. We don't know whether it is in Wainuiomata, we don't know whether it is in St Mary's Bay, or we don't know whether it's up in Northland. Well, that riled him up, Mr. Speaker. Who? Where is it? I hear it's in St Mary's Bay. So bring your own lattes, BYO lattes, and they don't eat sausages anymore. They eat quiche at the barbecues because the Labor Party will eat quiche at their barbecues, Mr. Speaker. And it is, Mr. Speaker, it is.
A new leader on Saturday morning.
We heard it. We heard it right here in this chamber. A new leader on Saturday morning. And as much as I admired my friend and colleague, Mr. Goff, who's in a neighbouring electorate, a good electorate MP, I don't believe that the people of New Zealand look at Mr. Goff and see the next leader of this country. And they've got to think about it, Mr. Speaker. That side have got to think about where leadership comes from. They want to talk about the economy. It's about productive investment and savings, Mr. Speaker, because only through investment and savings and changing the structure of our economy will we get out of this recession. And the plan is quite clear, Mr. Nash, as you know. The plan is quite clear. Fairer tax system, investment in innovation, investment in jobs that matter to this country. But we're also about saving. This government is about putting more money into frontline services.
The Honourable David Payne.